Hey folks, Jason here from Westside Stores and Bucktail Adventures. So it's that time of year. I mean, we've been waiting 3 years for this and we are so excited. Sockeye season on the Fraser. So here we are, sockeye season. I mean, we've been waiting a while for this. I can't wait to get out there, get on the bank of the Fraser and catch some fish. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a quick run through on this setup and how we fish them when we're bottom bouncing the sockeye out there, and the Chinook as well. So we're going to run river runners or bouncing betties, 2, 3, 4 ounce. I mean, depending on the water depth and the speed that you're fishing, you're going to have to adjust your weight for that. We're going to run leader savers. So this thing is very important for you out there. What it does is you clip your river runner in up here, tie the main in, the top end river runner here, and it protects your leader. So your leader is going to tie in on the bottom of this, so the weight hits this and not your leader. It'll pinch your leader in the rocks if you don't run these, and then when you get a fish, you just snap them off. You'll come in with a little tail like this, and that's exactly what happened. That river runner has snapped it off. Another thing we're going to have is a selection of corkies. I run these when I'm fishing Chinook. So I'm going to leave a tail off the end of my hook, and I'm going to put one of these up the line and tie a few knots to hold it in. The Chinook are a stronger, more powerful fish, and they're going to run higher in the water column. So this corky is going to float me a little better and keep that hook up off the bottom a little more and more into Chinook world. The sockeye are not as big. They tend to run a little closer to the bottom. So in that case, I'm running just wool. So here's a good pack from Gibbs Delta. It's got lots of different selection of color. Color is your choice. It doesn't really matter out there on the color. The other thing are the hooks. So 2/0, 3/0 is real popular out there, and that's my favorites. Here's a couple offerings from Gamakatsu in Barbless Octopus, and this guy here is my favorite from Trokar Eagle Claw, the Big Nasty, and it is exactly that. That thing is the sharpest, nastiest hook I have ever run. We run them on the salt, and definitely out here for this sockeye fishery. The last piece of this puzzle is a good fluorocarbon leader. I run fluorocarbon. You can run the abrasive leaders if you want. But this here is fluorocarbon coated. I find it disappears in the water. It's real supple, nice to run. I run 20 pound or 25, whatever you choose, but this is the option from P-Line. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to tie it up. I'm going to show you guys how this all goes together. Okay, so what we do is we take the hook of our choice with our leader, and we're going to tie a bait holder snell. So I go through the eyelet, I wrap 8 times, I bring the main end back through, leaving the tag out the back, a long tag, and then wrap another 4 times, pull it all through, build that bait holder loop, just like you were roe fishing. You would do the same kind of loop. What we do there is that you can put your wool in there that way, wrap the little piece of wool in, lock it in so it can't come out of there, just do a twist through and do it up. The other thing is we leave that long tag end on there so that if you're going to fish the Chinook and you want to put the corky on, now you have that option. You can put it on, tie a few knots on the end, and it'll help hold that corky on there for you. So you can tie it and have your choice of the just wool for sockeye or the corky. You can run wool and corky together if you want to try and float in the column a little more, but that's what we do. So we tie the snell on, and then we have our choice of either way of running it. The other thing we're doing out here is braided line. I find that braided line is very important out on the river. I run a 65-pound main down to my leader saver. Now, what I find with braided line is no stretch, of course, so the hook sets are positive. We're right there into fish. The other thing is we're not going to lose as much line in the river. We really have to think about the pollution that goes on out here. The leaders we're running, I do full body length pulls, so I do 12-foot leaders. Some guys are running 20s. I mean, it is not necessary. Like 8 to 12 foot is more than enough leader out there. But the mains now, when you snag up, what you're going to do is you're going to break off that 8 to 12 foot of leader typically, or you'll tear the swivels apart, or you'll rip your weight rate off. Where if you run mono mains, I've watched it time and time again out there, guys backing up, stretching mono, and then you hear it go off like a 22, just snap, and they break off 100 feet or 150 feet, and that crap just lays in the river for years to come. We all see it on the sandbars, the gravel bars when we're out there fishing. There's line all over the place, and that's typically where it's coming from. So if you go to braided mains, that will cut down a lot of that pollution and that crap in the water. So I would recommend that to everybody. Braided mains, fluorocarbon, or a mono leader, and then that way it's a smaller piece. The other thing is too, I've had big fish where you set them on a good Chinook on the Fraser, and you can't stop them. They come up in the water column, they're running from you like that downriver. I mean, they're going to take all your line. So at that point, now I can just thumb the reel, stop it, lay it down, snap the leader off. That fish is going to take that 8, 10, 12 foot with it, and not 200 feet of mono or whatever you're running for a main. So in my case, the braid, don't let them spool you out like that. So anyways, guys, that's the tips. So thanks for following along here and watching us at westsidestores.ca, and follow us on YouTube.